So I come to tell you He's alive, to tell you that He dries every tear that falls.
Hello everyone, this is Clint Louie coming to you with 5 minutes from Friendship. I hope you're having a great day today. This is revival meeting time at the Friendship Baptist Church. We are excited. I'm stirred in my heart. It's been a great week, and if you're in the area, I want you to come this week, 7 o'clock at the Friendship Baptist Church, and I want you to be a part of these things. Let me ask you a question. When is it time for revival? When is it time for revival? Now listen, it's not the kind of thing you look at the clock and say, oh, look, time for revival. Or you look at the calendar and say, oh, look, it's July again. Oh, guess it's time for revival. That's not the way it works. And remember, revival's not a meeting we schedule. It's not like you put it on the calendar and say, oh, we're going to church Monday to Friday. That's revival. No. Revival is when God makes us alive. When God stirs and makes old dry bones to live again. When He sweeps away the old dusty religion and replaces it with life from above. I want you to know we need God to stir the waters. When is it time for revival? The Bible says in 2 Chronicles 7:14, if my people, which are called by my name, shall humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then will I hear from heaven and will forgive their sin and will heal their land. That little word then. When is it time for revival? Well, let me give you a few ways to know when it's time for revival. When it's time for you and me to get serious, do some business with God, and say, Lord, I need some help in my soul. Number one, when there is a lack of brotherly love in the church house. The church ought to be the most loving place on this earth. And when that brotherly love is not present, it is time for revival. You and I ought to love our brothers and sisters, care for them, weep over them, pray for them, text them, call them, care for them, hold one another accountable. But when that love is not present, it is time for revival. Number two, when there is dissension or jealousy in the church. When there's gossiping, fussing, backbiting, bickering, when people have got their own opinions, I think we ought to do this, I think we ought to do that, and we're not going God's way. Every man's doing what's right in his own eyes. When there's fussing and dissension in the church, it is time for revival. And so if you look around and see that present in your life, in your heart, or in your church family, go ahead and beg God for revival. Number three, when is it time for revival? It's time for revival when there is a worldly spirit in the church. A worldly spirit in the church. The church is to be separated. Christians are to be separated from the world and to the Lord. But when a worldly spirit is present, it's time for revival. Listen, the church is not to act like, think like, dress like, speak like, do anything like the world. We are to be like Jesus Christ. The worship services of our church should never be like some nightclub, some theater where we come in, get jazzed up, pumped up in the flesh, feel good, entertainment. But we have no sense of God. I want you to know the church ought to be alive with the Spirit of God. But when it's worldly, it's time for revival. Another way to know it's time for revival, when the church members are in gross sin, when they're in open, flagrant sin, when they're lying, when they're lazy, when we are gossiping, when we are sleeping around, when we're immoral, whatever, when it's open and flagrant, when we're drinking, drunkenness, whatever it is, I tell you today, when that is flagrant in the church, it is time for revival. And search your heart, say, Lord, help me. Is it in me, Lord? Is it in me? And then another way to know is when the wicked are triumphing over the church. Now listen, we're on the winning side in Jesus Christ. I'm going to be with Jesus. King Jesus is coming. But understand, please, there will be times, and it's right here in our land, in America, when truth has fallen in the streets. When the church is more interested in ball games than we are the house of God and the things of God. And the wicked are running amok, and the wicked are burning down the cities, and the wicked are disrupting the churches, and the wicked want to close your church. And when these things are coming, when these things are happening, it's time for revival. Let the people of God cry out and say, oh God, revive us again. This is Clint Louie. God bless you and have a great day.